Dr. Art Hister has spent many minutes sitting across from me dispensing sage medical advice, laced with a little bit of his trademark humor. We asked him to return to Studio 4 to celebrate our fun times as things are changing here at Shaw TV. And it is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Art back to Studio 4 to tell us more.
See the grin on my face? It is so nice to be back
Well,
here.
so nice to see you.
Yeah,
We've been a good dog and pony show for many years.
We certainly did. It's been a long time since I've been here, but I want you to know I don't wear a jacket ever on TV, and I got this out because I remember you and Leslie talked me into buying a jacket.
Yes, it was my then producer.
That's right, who said I will look bigger and taller with a jacket.
And you look more doctor-like.
Yeah, I do. I'm much more authoritative.
But you did run that clinic. I know we've talked about it before, that Pine Tree Clinic, and I think you were the doctor in sandals and...
I was. I had a
Hawaiian
ponytail.
Shirts or something?
Yeah, well, no, T-shirts and cutoffs. It was a long time ago, Fanny. We all go through changes, right? I had the ugliest ponytail in the history of humanity. Could you believe me in a ponytail?
No, but as you age, you can bring a ponytail back.
Apparently, but especially if you work in LA. But I know me.
Exactly.
I look, this is me now.
You can do whatever you want.
I know. Yeah. It takes a while to realize that.
Do you miss the daily practice at all?
Yeah, you know what I miss? And this is true, really, quite seriously, I really miss my patients. I had the loveliest practice. It was a different era. We sort of grew up together, right? We were never going to grow old. We were never going to die. We were the golden generation, you know, the 60s, 70s, hippie, trippy kind of people. And they were absolutely the best people to be a part of, right? And I was an important part of that community. I miss them like crazy. The other thing you miss at home, if you do what I do now, which is, you know, we prepare stories and you go on and you're on TV for a couple of minutes, I miss the interchange with people that I used to have. I have nobody to talk to, so when Phyllis comes home, I grab her and I just tell her all the boring things that happened to me that day, which was nothing.
Phyllis is your wife, in case people don't know.
Right, yeah.
She usually calls you when you're on the show.
That's right. You made me shut off my cell phone so I didn't get a call
because
from her.
that has rung before.
Oh, several times. But I miss that. I don't miss the work at all. The work, and I don't miss the stress, and I don't miss the downsides of having to tell people bad news. And you know, the older you get, and the older your practice gets, the more of that there would have been. So I'm not sorry I made the career change. I wish there was a way of combining the two.
I did a show yesterday with Alan Castles. He's a medical researcher who wrote Seeking Sickness, and we talked at length about medical imaging and all these ads that say, get a scan, it will save your life. He says, not so.
No, he's right.
Like the scans can be a bit dangerous, and if you don't feel badly,
there's absolutely no evidence that they make any difference in terms of what you're going to expect. I know they advertise them like crazy. I get a ton of emails asking from people asking if they should get them. There is no study that has ever shown that if you get them, you're going to do better than if you don't get them. And I would argue that there's a real downside to it, as I'm sure Alan did. It's not that I wouldn't worry that much about the radiation, although that can add up depending upon the kind of scans you get. What I'd worry much more is that they often find things that don't matter.
That's what he said.
Incidentalomas, they're called in medicine. And what happens when you find something that you're not sure about? Well, our tendency is to want to do something about it. And when you do something in this business, you run into complications and side effects of the treatment. So I don't do that.
He said be responsible, but don't get a test for everything. And some of the tests aren't accurate, and ask the questions.
Absolutely.
Just ask the questions. Why do I need this? Do I really need this? Is there an alternative? And as the big pharmas drive, medicine.
I don't just blame corporations for this. It's also our tendency. We want that kind of stuff. I think the consumer gets off far too easy sometimes on these things. People want easy answers. So you want to know that if you get one test, you can know forever, I'm going to live to exactly this age, and here's what I should do.
Well, let's hope we live to at least 104.
Both of us.
And we are healthy and happy.
Or all of us, not just
vital.
both of us.
No, let's all of us
all
live
of
to
us
104.
Live to that,
what we're going to do, because we're running out of cheap oil, I don't know. We'll be colder.
Yeah, well, we'll manage.
But there you go. But we were joking earlier before you got here, and we said, Rashad Ali, my producer, and I said, Well, we should tell Dr. Hister, we know how to live happier, healthier lives. You sit down a lot.
Yeah.
You smoke, you drink.
Yeah, there you go. That's right.
You watch a lot of television.
And you know what, I was just reviewing a study
You're
today.
really negative.
Yeah, well, there you go. I was reviewing a
Cynical.
study today for an article I'm writing, and if you do that and you're a middle-aged male, you cut your life expectancy by 15 years if you combine all those things. So,
Really?
yeah, you don't want to do that.
No,
to be
exactly.
quite serious. Yeah, again, it's easier to do the bad things than it is to do the healthy things. So a lot of us have unhealthy
And you are a
lifestyle
proponent
habits.
of everything in moderation. I know
Absolutely.
that. You talk constantly
Yes.
about balance,
Yes.
and if your blood pressure is 2 points up, don't stress.
That's right. Well, you know, what are you going to do? Okay, this morning, for example, a study that is going to get a lot of attention.
I know what you're going to say, calcium.
Calcium supplements, right? And you know what? How many women over the age of 50 are taking them? They're all going to freak out. Well, you know what? If you actually look at the study, which did find a higher rate of heart attacks in calcium supplement users, there are a lot of weaknesses in the study. And remember that, and freaking out isn't going to help anybody, right? So if you're taking them and you think it's helping prevent osteoporosis, you wait, you sit down. Don't panic. You weigh the risks and what's the other thing? The benefits. Right?
Yes.
See, I'm getting older, Fanny.
Yeah.
Those words don't come as easily.
You might need ginkgo biloba.
Yeah, well, that doesn't work. I wish it did. And I had a ton of blueberries this morning, and those do work. So you can imagine what I'd be like without the blueberries. Anyway, you weigh the risks and the benefits, and then you decide for yourself how that balances.
And if you get osteoporosis, and they say take Fosamax, you say, what are the side effects? It's question.
And you know what? If we had to come up with one really good lesson for people, that would be it. Use your common sense and ask a lot of questions. And don't let anybody make up your mind for you. You don't walk into a doctor's office and say, hey, give me a pill, doc, I want to live forever. You say, okay, what can I do? If you're going to give me something, what are the risks? You know, all that kind of stuff.
Right, exactly. Well, my poor doctor has to put up with me. You can
well,
imagine. And she
I know
says...
They've quit practice. They told me they want to
I don't
quit.
blame her.
Yeah.
Because she says your thyroid's low, and you know, you can take a little bit of pig hormone or something. I go, no. I need to go to my yoga class and I'll do the fist pose. That's supposed to up the thyroid. And when my hair falls out, maybe I will. Yeah,
well, your hair looks great. And you should know that 10% of postmenopausal women is probably a little bit higher these days.
And that would be me.
Low thyroid. Well, I wasn't going to say that, but you know,
well,
I'm postmenopausal as well, so we're in the same category. 10 to 15% have low thyroid levels. Depends on how low and how it's affecting you as to what you do about it.
And I get that. And she said, if you get extremely tired and are dragging yourself to work, come and see me.
You don't look like a hypothyroid patient to me.
No, not to her either, because usually they're plump and all of that. I say I don't have any of the signs. But isn't there something about you're just born that way? Like my thyroid was probably low when I was 2.
Could have been, and there's a terrific genetic component to everything that happens to us. One of the nice things I've learned in this business, though, over the years, is that if your genes predestine you to have an unhappy outcome, I'm going to put that in those kind of terms, to have certain risks, you can still trump those risks by doing the proper lifestyle things in most cases. A nice study out last week showed that people who have 2 parents who have high blood pressure, that predisposes them to a much higher risk of high blood pressure themselves, but they can trump that risk by doing enough exercise. So yeah, you're born with certain genetic tendencies, but don't let that govern your life. In some cases, you can't help it.
And don't stress about it, because that will take a shot at your
health. That never
helps. Try to relax.
Yeah.
Exercise. Get active every day. You've always said that.
Yeah.
Are you still climbing Kilimanjaro and
no,
doing things
was
like
that the last thing? No, we didn't. But we do a lot of hiking. Yeah, we still do. We do it slower than we used to. It's funny, you know, you wake up in the morning and you don't have as much energy as you used to, so you have to
You walk, you garden, you move, you park your car 4 blocks away.
Yeah, I've always done that. I always park far away and walk to whatever venue I have. So yeah, but you know, everybody does their own thing.
Obesity, we know diets don't work. Everybody's tried one and gained it back and gained it back. So fad diets aren't your thing. What?
No.
What to eat?
Well, you just, you know, use your common sense. Moderation in everything, and lots of fruits and veggies and lots of fish. You know, Mediterranean diet. If you want one diet that works the best in studies, it's there are 23 countries that border the Mediterranean, okay? And they all eat somewhat differently. So there is no one Mediterranean diet. We're just there, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, we're in Turkey for 2 weeks. Yeah, it was terrific. Anyway, that's an aside. There is no one Mediterranean diet, but if you had to sort of factor out what they all share. A lot of fish, a lot of fruits and veggies, not that much meat, some grains.
Okay.
Balance, balance, balance. But remember, it's the Mediterranean. Wine is a fruit,
Of course.
right? Wine
Yes,
is
it
a
is.
fruit.
Wine's a fruit.
Coffee's a bean, right?
Not a
So,
gallon of
you know,
wine.
That's
a bad fruit.
Absolutely. In moderation, coffee, well, that's the one thing that I really do push that a lot
Coffee's
of other,
back.
Yes, what back? It never went away.
It didn't
This
go
is
away
it.
for me, but remember
No.
we had all those warnings about
We
don't
did.
drink too much.
And if you cast your mind back, I was pretty consistent in saying that I thought coffee was a health drink, and now the world's caught up to me.
you see, not with cream and sugar and double
No,
this and double
that's
that,
right,
but a good strong coffee.
Absolutely, 4
Good
double
way to go.
cappuccinos. Well, whatever.
And then
That's too much.
you say get enough sleep.
That's the hard one. I think that's the one that also becomes significantly more difficult as you age. You know what? I read an interesting thing that we all wake up every 90 minutes or so, or we sleep much less deeply you suppress it when you're younger, and as you get older, it becomes much harder to suppress that. So you wake up periodically at night. And of course, when you wake up...
And you stay awake.
Oh, of
I do
course.
the 2-hour shuffle
Of course.
at 1 in the morning.
And you and every other postmenopausal woman out there.
What's that about?
Well, I've always said that the best time to have a women's book club meeting is at 2 in the
For
morning,
sure.
because you guys are all awake anyway. So
We're
you should just
reading,
call
we're
it.
writing in our
Absolutely,
journals.
Absolutely. What happens is we stress out. You start looking at the alarm clock and you think, I got to be up in 4 hours. And as soon as you start doing that, you're never going to go back to sleep. But it's funny. Everybody I've talked to has that 1 to 2 hour period, right? You fall asleep again after 2 hours, right? Most of us
Yeah.
do. I don't know why.
I don't either, but
I think you just get too tired of being stressed.
Maybe well, you spend the 2 hours in every position known to man and
That's
woman
it.
in the bed.
That's right.
Right, and you get the cold pillow, and then you go to both sides, and then
you've
you,
worked out every problem you're going to work out. And
Absolutely.
this is the 3rd time over.
Oh,
so
and
it's not worth
terror.
doing. Yeah.
How about that brain? That lizard brain
That's
kicking
right,
in.
I
A lot
know.
of fear
Yeah.
at 2 in the morning.
So just realize it's not abnormal. So many other people are going through it. You should try and get enough sleep. Enough sleep, there's no set amount of hours that you need. I know
Okay.
people love that. It's really how tired you are the next day. If you're tired the next day, you didn't get enough sleep.
Sure, have a little nappy.
if
But
you
I
can.
don't need much sleep, and this is not about me. Never
No,
have.
no.
Always
No,
been,
a lot of people
you
don't.
know, a 5 to 6, 8-hour girl.
Margaret
max.
Thatcher was supposed to apparently only sleep 4 hours a day.
Really? Do you
Yeah.
think we're any smarter?
For doing that? Yeah, well, you're smart enough.
I don't know.
Whatever you're doing
I
is
don't know if
working.
it's linked to
Fanny.
intelligence,
Yeah, I
the fact
think
you
so.
don't sleep much.
No, no.
No, but Einstein didn't sleep much, so maybe.
There you go.
So Fraser Valley Retirement Planning and Healthy Living Show, you'll be there?
I'll be there on Saturday. It runs from Friday to Sunday.
Okay.
A lot of booths, a lot of interesting things.
Great,
I'm the
at
keynote.
Chilliwack Heritage Park.
Yeah, and I'm the keynote on Saturday noon
on the
and 2.
What about the 27th?
No,
That's
I'm
a
not there.
fib?
No, it's on the 27th because
But
it runs
you're not
Friday
there.
to Sunday, but I'm not there. I'll be
Just
there
on
Saturday.
the 25th?
Yeah, on
Okay,
the 26th.
just getting it straight so we
On
don't
the
have a
26th.
riot.
Yeah, on the 26th. So everybody in the Fraser Valley, love to see you.
Well, thanks for doing this.
Oh, Fanny, it was such a joy.
Yeah, it was great.
always is.
We had a lot of fun
Yeah,
at
we
Studio
did.
4.
Yeah, it was lovely.